Hey everybody, this is Michael at FABS. We've had a rough week here. I'm going to be at about 75 hours this week, and I've been thinking about what we could shoot this week, and I decided to talk about our bars for our sinks. I showed you in another video how we do the drop-in sinks, and I showed you how we put the rods in. So right now, we're going to talk about these rods that we put in all of our sinkhole cutouts, and I thought we could put them in some pieces of backsplash and get some weight and test just how strong these bars are. The books say it makes the material 300% stronger. I mean, that sounds great, but I don't know how much 300% is. So I wanted to see and let you guys see how much they actually help. I know from experience that I hardly ever break a top that's got rods in it. And I know from experience that shops that don't put rods in it break their tops all the time. So I know they do help, and they help a lot. I just want to see how much. So what we got, I've got 3 pieces of backsplash here. I'm going to leave one without any rods at all in it. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put 2 rods in it, one at the top, one at the bottom. And then I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to put 2 rods at the top, 2 rods at the bottom, which is how I used to rod all my fragile sinkholes. I have a piece of quartz backsplash, and I'm not going to put any rods in that, and we're going to test the weight that can be held on that with the weight of no rods and rods in these. So I think it'll be a good test. I actually got some weights today, so I don't have to run around picking up material and stacking it and killing myself. So, and it'll also let you guys know how much actual weight. See, I know how much granite weighs, but you guys don't know, don't work with it every day, so I think that'll help. We'll probably cut out while I start cutting all this stuff, because you've seen me cut and put them in the other video, so I don't guess we need to see that again. And that's what we're going to do today. If you watch the video and like it, please hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll get started. Alright, I've got everything set up and marked right now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Makita SJS grinder, and I've got this new 5-inch butter blade that I'm going to cut with today. And what I've marked is I've made all these backsplashes 42 inches. That way they'll all be the same size. I'm trying to be as scientific as I can about it. And then I've marked my lines on each end where I'm going to cut my, I don't know what you would call them, cut my lines to put the rods in. And once we do that, then we will get started. so we've got our slots cut in here. This is a rod that I've cut to put in there. Here is another one. These rods here are just plain fiberglass rods. If you have them flat and you bend them, they bend really easy. But if you have them like that and you try to bend them, it's a lot harder. So that's why we place them up and down like that in the material. In this one, I told you I was going to put 2 rods in the front, 2 in the back. These rods are actually carbon fiber rods. Same thing though, that way they're not strong, this way they're very strong. And just like, you know, twigs, one twig's not strong, if you put a bunch together they are. Put 2, then it gets really strong. So I've got 2 in the front there. If I can get them back in the hole, that's difficult with these. And you only want to do this if you're working with marble or a high level, super exotic stone that's just got all kinds of mica and different types of material in it. They usually have a mesh on the back, but it doesn't do near what these rods do, in my opinion, but we're going to find out. So now that I've got them placed in there, we've got to put our epoxy in that'll make them stay in here. And that is this right here. This is Stone Shield Transparent Flowing. I get it from Braxton & Bragg. It's got a yellowish tint to it. It does not matter because nobody's going to see this unless I'm just showing them and telling them why it's in there. It's not going to affect the beauty of the job. And the way I do it is I save all my plastic bottles. I pour it in there. I always pour too much, but that's all right. This is a hardener that comes with the transparent flowing. It also comes with the knife grade that we use for the seams. And one of the main different things about doing seams and doing these rods is the amount of hardener you use. In my knife grade, I only put a little bit of hardener because it'll make it brittle, it'll make it change colors and turn orange. With this one, I put some hardener in it. 1, I don't care if it turns orange and yellow. And 2, I don't want to wait all day for this stuff to harden up. Because all I'm going to do is take a cup wheel and stone it down flat. So as you can see, I put so much hardener in it, it pretty much turns white. And I don't know if we'll film all this or not, but when this sets up, it'll probably pop and crack and smoke and everything else. But I worked at a shop before, they put a little bit harder in this. And I swear to God, they'd sit around for an hour watching it dry and not do anything else. I'll never understand it. So once you get it mixed up real good with your hardener in it, you want to just pour it in here over these bars. You want to make sure you get it all the way through and that it's covered really well. But you don't want to have a mountain of this stuff on top of this because you're going to have to stone it down because you want it flush. You want it to set flush up against your wall and you don't want epoxy holding it off. So this stuff gets really, really hard and it is a pain in the butt to sand down flush if you put too much on there. I had another guy that I worked with. He wouldn't even stone this stuff off, and I installed for that company. And they would put this stuff on here like this. Then they would take a shim or a razor blade or a latex glove or whatever, and then they would just swipe it like that all the way off, which it's okay to swipe it and get it smooth, but they wouldn't sand it or clean it off or anything. They would swipe it, and then what they would do was go over to our table saw, get some sawdust off of that thing, and just flap it on there, Then I've got to take it and put it on the cabinet, sawdust everywhere, and hell, it stayed so sticky that the daggone thing, if I had to move it or slide it, it would be stuck to the countertop because they didn't sand it off. When I told the owner, he's like, oh, I don't need it. I don't need to sand that. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this, but still a funny story. You see that one back there that I was messing with? It's sticking up a little bit. That's not the end of the world. I'll just stone that down. And if you notice, you have to keep putting epoxy in there. Chances are you probably cut through your stone. And I've seen that done before, but I really tried not to do it. After you do this stuff so much, you just pretty much know how far to go with your blade and all that stuff. I want to have a good amount in here. I want to have the right amount because I want to have the truest test possible. So. We got all of our transparent flowing in here now. So I'm just taking the torch and I'm heating up the stone so I don't have to wait on this stuff to dry too long until I can start stoning it. Another thing, you can use the torch to get this super hot if you want because nobody's going to see it. It doesn't matter if it cracks a little bit in the back, it don't look perfect. It just don't matter, it's hidden, it's just there for strength. Catch it on fire, it doesn't matter. You blow it out when you get a chance. Ideally, you want to heat up the stone around the epoxy. That way, it'll dry it from the inside out. Whereas if you just hold it on the epoxy itself, it dries it from the outside in. And then when you go to stone it, once you get that top hard coat off, then it slings it everywhere and you got to redo it. And that sucks. I have seen that happen before too. There ain't a whole lot I haven't seen happen before. I have seen a kitchen get caught on fire from drilling of a faucet hole. So I have seen about all of it. Peach is there. She stays with me 2, 3, 4 days a week now. So she's learning a lot. In some spots we're already starting to get hard, so it won't be long. If I hold this torch in one spot, you can kind of see it start to glaze over and harden up as it gets warmer. It's starting to bubble up. And that's not just from the torch or heat. Once the chemical reaction happens between that hardener and that transparent flowing, it gets hot and makes heat. You've seen I used that infrared thermometer in the last video. We've got the epoxy dried in here now, so I'm going to use a cup wheel. This is a Hurricane cup wheel. I get it from Braxton Bragg, and what I'll do is take it and clean all this off. I'm going to have to turn the fans on. It's going to get a little noisy, so I wanted to explain what we're going to do first. Also, we were just thinking, a lot of these videos, I don't wear safety glasses or fresh air mask or hearing protection or anything like that. That's just because I'm probably not smart. If you do this at home, you probably ought to wear all this stuff, or you lose an eye or mess up your ears or something like that. So just Wanted to put that out there. So we got everything set up. We've got our epoxy stoned off, and we went out and we brought the weights in. I've got 4 45 pounders. I got this massive 5 pounder here. I've got 2 75 pounders and 2 60 pounders. I also went and got some sinkhole cutouts. Granite is anywhere from 18 to 23 pounds a square foot. So we figure these larger ones are anywhere from 20 to 25 pounds. This smaller one, 10 to 15 pounds. I also got a piece of marble backsplash I had laying around back there. I wanted to show you guys a little example on how strong backsplashes and things are. So, marble in particular is a lot softer and weaker than granite or quartz. So if you take this one here, and it may even break, you always want to carry it straight up and down like this. That's your strongest way. So I thought I'd take it and just kind of shake it here, that way. And you can see up and down it holds together. Now the way you're not supposed to carry it, which is the way every new guy wants to carry it, is flat, like this. And believe it or not, it's not going to break. Yeah, it is. So you see, that's why you want to carry it straight up and down. And that's why you want to add extra protection to stuff. These to 42 inches, every one of them. And then what I did is I separated all of my stands to 30 inches. All of them 30 inches. That way everything is as uniform as we can be. This one here has absolutely no rails in it whatsoever. This one, nothing in the front. Got my double, nothing in the back. This one here, got my single, nothing there, nothing there. This material here is kind of a middle of the line on the hardness, toughness. It's a cashmere white. It's not as brittle as, say, an Uba Tuba, but it's not as strong as, say, Absolute Black or a Tan Brown. This one here, I cut to 42 also and separated to 30. This is quartz. As you can see, I've got no rails in the front of it, no rails on that side, no rails there, no rails there. And I just wanted to see the strength of this compared to the strength of those. I want to separate these about equally. I'm going to turn these to the fronts up, fronts up, fronts up. Now, on these, once they start to break, we'll probably get some cracks in them, but I'll keep adding weight to them so that you guys can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to start with some of these on the one without the rods in it, for sure, because I'm afraid that one of the heavier weights will break it. I can start with that 5 pound, but it ain't gonna do nothing. But we can see 5 pounds on the one without a rail. So I know that's not enough. So now I'm gonna jump up to this 10 to 15 pounder on the one with no rail in it. That one's good. Put one of these 20 to 25 pounders on here. All right, still good on that one. Now I'm going to add one of these 10 pounders, 10 to 15 to it. All righty, we're still good on that. Now I'm going to put this little 5 pounder on here. So we're good on all that. So that tells me I can probably put one of my 45s on there. Gotta wash my toes when I'm doing this too, guys. Alright, there's one 45 pounder on that one. So we got our 45 on that one there. So I know it's gonna hold on these. And we were just talking, if the weight was concentrated in a smaller area, I know it would be more likely to break, or if I spread out the stand and the length of the stone, it will break. But I wanted to not have it too far to where it just instantly broke, to give us a little something to go by. So now we got a 45 on each one of them. I'm gonna start with adding this 10 to this one. And see, I just kinda gotta watch my body. All right, so it holds up to the 10. Up to that. All right. Let's put a 5 on with that. All right. All right. That was holding up a lot stronger than I thought it would, for sure. All right. All right, I'm gonna try to not hurt myself while I'm doing this, guys. All right. That surprises me. Well, that's surprising the crap out of me right there. Let me see what's my best way to do this. Really? All right, that's 180 pounds right there. All right. So this is holding a lot more weight than I ever expected it to. So what I did is I went from 30 inches to 36 inches to leave the opening on this a little bit bigger so that the weight will be more effective on it. I'm gonna go ahead and start popping the 45s on here and see Has it changed anything? All right. There's just a lot of weight on there, man, and that stuff still ain't breaking. Set the dumbbell this way. Alright, that's 120 pound right freaking there, man. On that one. Wow. Alright. Not gonna freaking break. I'm gonna just try to put my body weight on it here and see if it'll break. I don't want to hurt myself, but pretty much everything I got right there. All right. That strap's not gonna break, guys, so it's pretty daggone strong. I have my doubt that this is gonna break it all. So I'm gonna move on to this one here just because I'm done with this one. I guarantee you we can stack everything in the freaking house on this thing and it ain't gonna break. Alright, that's what I need to do is generate my weight. I separated everything out as far as I could, and then I put all the weight in one area. That was my double rails there. See, it broke, but it stayed together because I've got my double rails in there. I felt a whole lot safer with this one with my feet because of that. So we had, what we have, two 60s and a 75 on there. All right, let's do my single bar. Pulled out as far as we can get them pulled out again. That's 41.5 inches. So we'll start with the 75 on this one. Goes in it, or yeah, it's got the single, so it should. Got these first. Alright, that was my single rail. It had enough weight. This was the fiberglass one and not the carbon fiber. It actually broke totally in half, whereas my carbon fiber stayed together. Alright, now we're going to go with the one with no rails in it. I've really got to wash my feet on this one. This is actually a shorter piece. It seems like maybe just a little bit. No, it's still 42. Alright, we're going to start with the 60 on this one. And y'all know I already had a bunch of crap on this one, but I had the weight distributed differently. Pretty sure it's not going to hold that 75. We know the other one's broken on this. Hold these and I'll pop that 75 on it. We know it's going to break at that 75. Alright, we're going to pop that 75 on there, like this. Alright, ain't that what I had on the other ones with the rods in it? Huh. Alright. That's weird. Now we're going to go to the piece of quartz. I don't know what to think about these test results. I'm a little shocked. A little shocked. That does not surprise me, not in the least. Quartz is very, very strong. As I said, quartz is very strong. When I start getting scared that somebody's gonna get hurt. Mainly me. Man, I'm running out of stuff to put on here. Get that? Woo! Scared me a little bit. So that little last piece was maybe 5 pounds. I probably should. So I figure, what'd you say, like 450 in weights? And then if we did the minimum 20 pound a piece on the large round parts, it was 380 in those. So 5, 6, 7, like probably between 825 to 850 pounds on that little piece of backsplash. So one thing we learned 100%, no question asked, quartz is strong as hell. That was just a piece of quartz backsplash. This is half of it here. Here's where it broke. You see there's no rods or anything special in there holding that up. Here's the other half of it. Luckily it just kind of spread apart and separated. That's us right there. The granite, it really surprised me. My test results here show that the piece without any rods in it was stronger than the pieces with rods in it. So I don't know if in that piece of backsplash, me cutting the reservoirs in it weakened the stone and made it weaker than the backsplash. I do know from installing kitchens for the past 17 plus years that a lot less sink tops get broke with rods in them than the ones with not. So the test is very, very troubling to me. I'm going to have to do some more tests and try to figure out maybe the putting a lot of hardener in it and all that, maybe it did compromise the strength of it. Maybe the backsplash in a small area, putting the 2 rods in the front and the back, compromised it. I don't know, but what I do know is the one without rods in it held more weight than the ones with rods in it. And I also saw that the carbon fiber rods that are a little more expensive than the fiberglass ones did a better job, because even when they broke, they did not totally separate. As you can see, it's, you know, it's still freaking, even though it's broke, it's still pretty strong. If I needed to, I could put that back together and it'd be fine. Whereas my piece that had my fiberglass rodding in it totally 100% broke apart. These are a little bit cheaper than the carbon fiber rods, but this test shows me that from now on I'll be buying the carbon fiber rods, because even if I do have a sink run break, I want it to stay together. Number one, if it stays together, there's a lot better chance I can repair it, fill it, surface polish it, and still use it. Number two, if you're carrying it in a house and it breaks apart, pieces fly off of it, and the customer's got really nice tile, really nice hardwood floors, breaks apart, man, it's a hardwood or tile floor. Then, not only are you replacing the top, because when it breaks apart and falls apart, you can't put that back together and make it look good. So you're going to be replacing the top, replacing the labor for the top, replacing the install time for the top, and you get the joy of replacing the customer's tile or hardwood floor. So I think we'll be investing in the carbon fiber rotting from now on. This is not going to stop me from rotting my sink bars. It makes my guys more comfortable, makes me more comfortable. And history has showed me they break a lot less. But it is going to make me do some more experiments to find out what made these test results the way they are. Also, as bad as I hate to say it, man, quartz is so much stronger than granite in that aspect. I mean, it is just, it's night and day. Now, as far as looks go, I think granite is way better looking than quartz. I enjoy being able to top polish granite and get it back and all that, but as far as strength goes, Jesus, you can't get no better than quartz. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the test we did today. I enjoyed it. Every time we do these tests, I learn a little bit, and anytime you can learn when you've done something this long, it's very exciting. So if there's anything else you guys would like to see us do some tests on, let us know, and we'll do it. We'll try to set up. I'll try to think of a test we can do next week. And if you guys could do me a favor and like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And until next time, thanks for watching.